Writing. Epilogue. 20 years later. 20 years passed. The little boy who once walked to school wearing old shoes and carrying a worn-out backpack had become one of England's most respected doctors and medical researchers. Dr. Ethan Parker was known not only for his knowledge, but also for his kindness. He believed that every patient deserved compassion regardless of their wealth or background. Although Ethan now lived in a modern city, he never forgot the small village of Willowbrook where his journey had begun. Every month he returned to visit his parents. Thomas and Sarah had grown older, but they no longer worried about money. Ethan had bought them a beautiful cottage surrounded by flowers, just as his mother had always dreamed. One Sunday afternoon, the family sat together in the garden, drinking tea and remembering the past. Thomas smiled and said, "Do you remember your first school bag?" Ethan laughed. "Of course, it was patched so many times that Mum joked it had more stitches than fabric." Sarah smiled warmly. "But that old bag carried the biggest dream." They all laughed together. A few weeks later, Ethan received an invitation from Willowbrook Primary School. The school was celebrating its 100th anniversary and wanted one of its most successful former students to deliver the graduation speech. Without hesitation, Ethan accepted. When he arrived, the school looked almost the same as it had many years before. The old oak tree still stood in the playground. The classrooms had been painted, but the memories remained alive. Ethan slowly walked through the corridors. He remembered his first day. The laughter of children. The old backpack. The homemade jam sandwiches. And the boy who had shared his lunch. Oliver Brown. Oliver had fulfilled his own dream and become a successful civil engineer. He had designed bridges and railway stations across England. Despite their busy lives, the two friends had remained close for decades. As Ethan stood on the stage, he noticed Oliver smiling proudly from the front row. The hall was filled with students, teachers, and parents. Ethan took a deep breath. "When I was your age," he began, "I believed I was the poorest child in this school." The students listened quietly. "I wore old clothes. I carried used books. Sometimes I worried about things children should never have to worry about." He paused. "But I learned something very important. Success doesn't begin with money. It begins with hope." He looked toward the children. "If someone believes in you, never forget them. If your parents sacrifice for you, honor them. If your teachers encourage you, thank them. If your friends stand beside you during difficult times, treasure them forever." The audience applauded. Some parents wiped away tears. After the ceremony, a young boy approached Ethan. "Sir," he asked shyly, "do you think someone like me can become successful?" Ethan smiled exactly as he had smiled years before. He placed a gentle hand on the boy's shoulder. "I don't think you can." "I know you can." The boy smiled with new confidence. As Ethan walked toward the school gate, he looked back one final time. The same school. The same village. The same dreams. Only one thing had changed. The poor little boy who had once needed encouragement had become the man who now inspired others to dream. And so Ethan Parker's greatest achievement was not becoming a famous doctor. His greatest achievement was proving that kindness, education, perseverance, and true friendship can change a life forever. The end.